Please be advised that everything in my video is purely for entertainment purposes. These are purely my thoughts and opinions and are subjective. I must advise you to please do your own research. All media used is found on the public domain and are fair use and fair dealings.
Hey everybody, I hope you're all doing okay and had a nice weekend. So, as I said in my last video, my husband had a surprise planned on Sunday and he did not disappoint. We rocked up at Windsor. I have never been to Windsor and he thought it'd be a nice surprise for me, obviously talking about the royal family all the time in the channel. What a beautiful place, absolutely stunning. It was really, really surreal, which is just crazy when you think I've been talking about the royal family for a couple of years and I haven't actually been to Windsor. So we didn't actually go into the castle because we just decided we were going to have a walk around and we were going to come back. Well, we are going to go back next year, hopefully when the weather's a little bit warmer. So we went down to the river and we saw all of the swans. I have never seen so many swans together in my life. It was pretty amazing. Windsor itself, obviously really old buildings and really kind of crooked and bent, and it's just a real mishmash of all the different architecture over the years as well. So we saw the Prince Harry pub, we saw the Duchess of Cambridge pub, we went into a couple of pubs ourselves. We initially started off doing the long walk. This is what you've seen on TV so many times. This was crazy to actually be walking down this. This is where all the crowds are when we have any sort of big special events, you know, weddings and whatnot. This is the road. You can see Windsor Castle at the back. There's me doing a cheesy tourist pose. I also managed to catch the changing of the guards. Admittedly, it is at a distance on Zoom using my phone, but you can see them here. I've never seen that before. I mean, I've been in central London and seen it, but this is obviously outside Windsor. And I also noticed the amount of aeroplanes that came over. It was unbelievable. They were literally like every minute to 2 minutes. So I could really see that they weren't joking when they reported on the fact that Frogmore is really under a flight path. It was raining at the time, so the shots weren't particularly clear of some of the buildings, but I did walk past this little building and I have remembered this from when I have covered stories to do with Frogmore Cottage, when a certain couple once lived there. And I actually, on this long walk, you got to see the top of Frogmore Cottage, which the newspapers often use when they go down there. I guess they're not allowed in the grounds. But yes, that is Frogmore Cottage. And it did not go unnoticed by the Sussex Squad fan base because I dared to post my photographs of me having a nice time in Windsor. But the bit that made me laugh was they accused me of stalking Harry and Meghan. And I'm like, they don't live there anymore. They couldn't believe that I was allowed to go somewhere like this and take photographs of it. They called me a stalker. The irony is not lost on me for the simple fact that they literally repost every single tweet that I do, moan about every video I do. They're the ones that are following me. So who's the real stalker? So I'm glad that I ruffled some feathers there, but it was just, how dare I take a picture of Frogmore Cottage? I must get my husband to take me on a tour of Buckingham Palace next time. That'll really blow their brains apart. Now, for those of you that don't follow me on Twitter, this is my Twitter handle. Just make sure you type it in exactly as it shows here. So that way you can make sure that you're actually following me and not one of the many other accounts. People, what are they doing with their lives? So the reason why I'm bringing up Twitter is because I've shared this on Twitter, and those of you that don't follow Twitter, because it is a bit of a cesspit, I ended up on TV in Windsor. Yeah. Yes, my first trip to Windsor. We'd literally just arrived. We'd just walking round to where the castle was and I got stopped by a lady filming. She wanted to ask questions about how everyone was feeling about the Queen's absence from Remembrance Sunday. My husband literally just shoved me in front of it and said, yeah, do it. No, you'll be great at it. You'll be fine. I looked rough. Now, when I say I look rough, this is not me asking or fishing for compliments. I can honestly say this. I had about 2 hours sleep from the night before because I didn't sleep well because I went to bed after a bottle of wine. It just makes me wake up continuously. I was puffy. I hadn't had a full face of makeup. We were late in the morning. Literally threw something on, scragged my hair back. I did not take care of my appearance that day. So I said to my husband after I filmed it, I was like, oh, that was awful. This isn't the same as filming it on camera like I do with you guys. And he's like, no, you were fine. You were fine. So anyway, it did end up being aired in Canada. Australia are so far of the reports that I've seen. This is a clip of it. I was not feeling myself and I looked rough. And I said to my husband, I said, I look terrible. The Sussex squad are going to have a field day with this footage. I was trying to show him it and he just said to me, no, baby, no, you're beautiful. You know, like husbands do, bless him. But then he watched the footage and I know I looked rough because he turned around, sat there and went, I want you to know that you don't look like that normally. It was probably the camera and bad lighting. And I was like, The camera adds £10 and I want to know how many cameras were on me. I felt like Big Hero. But it's just typical, isn't it? The day when you've got no makeup on and you're feeling like a sack of crap, you know, someone records you for TV. But yeah, how bizarre is it given what I do talking to you guys on YouTube? And I ended up being filmed in Windsor. So not my best look, admittedly, but I made the news. So let's get on to Remembrance Sunday. Obviously, the Queen was not there. And we had the Duke of Kent. This is a photograph of him saluting from the balcony, stood in her place. On the other balcony, we had Camilla, Catherine and Sophie. A few people have said that Catherine was standing in for the Queen, but for me, it just looks like that they're in order of rank. Camilla, Catherine, Sophie. It did seem sad with the Queen not being there, but more importantly, everyone else seemed really sad. We saw the usual laying of the wreaths at the Cenotaph and we saw Prince William looking rather dashing, I must say. Princess Anne, of course, we have Prince Edward and we have Prince Charles, who was laying the wreath on behalf of the Queen. The last time the Queen actually laid a wreath was in 2016 and now she normally gets Charles to do it on behalf of her. But the images, the close-up images of Charles, it made me cry because he just looks so bloody sad. Now, obviously, it is a sombre event. And I know, obviously, it is, you know, a lot of people get upset. It's an emotional thing to remember all of the lives that was lost, all of the sacrifices by these men and women and what they did for us to give us our freedoms now. But when you look at them all, Catherine at several points, that was more than just being upset or moved by the music. Sophie actually was really upset. Prince William as well, look at his jaw here. Look how tight he is crunching down on his back teeth. I'm surprised he's even got a lower jaw left. People are naturally unnerved at the moment. We just lost Prince Philip and it is that kind of reminder, and perhaps it is just simply that the family are aware of a certain era is coming to an end. We see now the senior royals, the way that the Queen is moving forward with the monarchy. You have got Sophie and Edward that have now stepped up. You've got Catherine and William who are now obviously taking on a more senior and active role. For Charles, it might just be, you know, his mother wasn't there. He's lost his father this year, but the rest of them looked, just as I said, a little bit more upset. It's been reported that the Queen has hurt her back, as well as I think it was her ankle that I've read, and she's taken some time out. And it wasn't just them. Apparently the crowd sang God Save the Queen and they did it at such a magnitude, so everyone was feeling the lack of the Queen's presence. She has only ever missed 3 ceremonies in her entire reign. In fact, here is a photograph of her when she laid her first wreath, and this was before she was even sworn in as Queen. As much as everyone is really worried about the Queen, I am hoping that it is just a case that she really just needs a break. She's never stopped. She has worked so hard her entire life. And this year, she's obviously had the loss of Philip. I mean, 73 years. 73 years of being with someone. I mean, it's got to be weighing down on her. Plus, she's lost, I think she's lost a couple of friends this year. She's lost one of her aides. Members of staff have left. She's had the massive fallout. Everything to do with Andrew and him hiding under her skirts to do with the court case. Plus, of course, the fallout which Harry and Meghan caused with Oprah. And I think the way the Queen has really gone, not downhill, but she's really lost her spark. I don't think people are going to be very forgiving of Harry and Meghan anytime soon. In fact, it's all the more apparent what they've actually put her through on top of losing her husband. And that for me is making me dislike the couple even more. And I think that if he really loves his grandmother, I think he just needs to pipe down and shut up for a little while and not release those memoirs. Give his family a break. Let the Queen recover, because as I said, it's been an absolutely traumatizing year for her. I'm pretty sure that the Queen is just needing some rest and she will be back with us and she will be fighting fit and laughing at the races and the horses and getting back to the things that she loves. Catherine on the balcony looked absolutely magnificent. I mean, she's worn that coat before, but she just looked so regal. And considering that she married into the royal family as a commoner, she did not come from blue blood, as it were. And she has definitely got an air and class about her, where I personally just see her as the future queen. And as for William rocking that uniform, he looked mighty handsome, if I do say so myself. My husband was, even when I was looking through the phone, I showed him a picture, and obviously he's not into the royal family at all, bless him. And he's very much a man's man, but even he said he really does look like a king, doesn't he? And I was like, yes, he does. As I said last week, there is a video that is coming this week to you to do with the Cambridge Confidence. There's something about Catherine and William that has really, really changed. And I personally can't wait for the day when they actually become king and queen. Well, consort. So for Remembrance Day, we saw some lovely photographs of William, who was meeting and saluting various military veterans who were there at the event. We also had the London Black Cabbies get together again. London Black Cabs are absolutely iconic of London, along with the big, huge double-decker red buses. They have a special way of saying thank you to the veterans that attend the services around London. Hundreds of veterans come from all over to the ceremony at the Cenotaph, and London Black Cab taxi drivers give up their day's fares and they spend the day ferrying them around for free. There's some lovely photographs here of some of the veterans that are just being escorted around London, and I just think what a wonderful thing to do. I think it's just one of those genuinely lovely things that we see every so often, and it reminds us that there are really good people still out there. In other amazing images, check out Sydney Opera House. They lit up the entire Opera House with poppies in honour of Remembrance Day, and it just looks truly breathtaking. I love Australia, I love Australians, and I just love these images. Now, Remembrance Sunday happened to land on Prince Charles's birthday this year. A new official portrait was released. It looks lovely, but I just felt it was missing his personality. He's got a real cheeky, fun side to him. So I posted a few of my favourite photographs of Charles. I especially love this one where he looks like he's a blushing schoolboy. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What did the pretty ladies say to the man to make him blush like that? When I was going through the photographs of Charles laughing to get them for the video and for Twitter, you know, you come across a lot of photographs of him and Camilla, and I think that we've got such a wicked sense of humour, and they really are in tune with each other as a couple. They remind me in a lot of these of naughty kids giggling together at the back of assembly, which is kind of sweet when you're given their age together. So I think that they're a very, very well suited couple, because if you can make each other laugh like that, then I think you're set. Now, speaking of Charles and Camilla, they have just started their 4-day tour of Jordan and Egypt. Now, it also gave me comfort as well with them going on this 4-day royal tour that if the Queen was really unwell, I don't think Charles would go. He's obviously, I know that they do the whole, you know, keep calm, carry on, stiff upper lip and all that. But I think after losing his father, he did look very emotional, as I said, at the Cenotaph when he was laying that wreath. I don't think if the Queen was sick, that he would personally go. So I do believe that the Queen is just having some much needed rest and recuperation after having a particularly stressful year. So in other royal birthdays, we had Peter Phillips' birthday as well. He was 44. Peter Phillips is the eldest son of Princess Anne and also the Queen's first ever grandchild. There were lots of photographs of a very young Peter Phillips here with a bright blonde hair running around Princess Anne. In this one cute picture, he's running to go give his daddy a hat. There was video clips of the Queen sitting there playing with him on the sofa, and it's just hard to believe that he was the Queen's first grandson. So Princess Anne gave birth to the Queen's first 2 grandchildren, but she did not want her children to have titles. Now, the children wouldn't have automatically got titles because it's pretty sexist. The titles only come down from the male. So Princess Anne, although she was a princess herself, her children would not have automatically become prince and princesses. So the Queen obviously gave her that option. But Princess Anne turned her down because she didn't want her children to be defined by their rank in life, shall we say. And there's so many reasons why people absolutely love Princess Anne, and this is very high up on the list. She's no fuss, no nonsense, down to earth. She cares passionately about her family and the military and her horses. And she's so completely affectionate with her family, and she's also got a wicked sense of humour. Now, obviously, I spoke about the Queen's health in this video, and I don't want to end the video with it being a bit of a like, oh, this is a bit sad, depressing video. So I'm going to cheer you up with two things. One, we had the Countess of Wessex visiting the Guide Dogs National Centre. Sophie in July became the royal patron of guide dogs. This position was handed over to her by Princess Alexandra, the Queen's cousin. She was on the balcony with the Duke of Kent at the Remembrance Service. She had held the position herself for 67 years. Obviously, Sophie and Edward have now been elevated to a more senior royal position. So Sophie has taken on even more patronages, and Edward has as well, which is good because it means that we're going to get to see a lot more of them. Everyone loves Sophie. She's just such a nice person, and I'm sorry, dogs are the best judge of characters, so if they adore her, then it just means that she's a good person. But how Sophie managed to actually leave the centre without smuggling a puppy or two in her handbag is beyond me, because look how cute they are. I definitely would have walked out one under each arm. And finally, to end the video with something equally cute and adorable. We obviously have Prince William looking rather tense at the Remembrance Sunday service, but on the lighter note of it, he did at some point pull a face at the crowd, and who does he look the spitting image of? Let's just say that boss baby Prince Louis, the apple did not fall far from the tree. It's hard to pick which one of them's cuter. I think we know. Prince Louis, he's probably gonna get away with everything, isn't he? So I am intending to continue with my work ethic as of last week, and I am going to be putting out several videos to you this week. So if you haven't got a notification in a few days, just come check on the channel, because for some reason, I don't know why, maybe there's some sort of conspiracy theory trying to get rid of me, that the notifications are not coming through to all of you. So just keep coming back and checking, and I will see you guys soon. Take care for now. Bye.
If you like my video, please remember to like and subscribe. Please, angry typists, you will be blocked, so save your fingers the time. If you would like to buy me a coffee, please go to my About page and click the link. Love, Taz.